You'd expect a war to start with explosions, but sometimes it begins with something far more unsettling. A silent screen and the words, "Connection timed out." You're at a coffee shop, you swipe your card, and the cashier shakes their head. You check your phone, no bars. You try the ATM across the street, out of service. This is the digital blackout. In the modern age, the first casualty of any conflict isn't a bridge or a power plant. It's the trust protocol between you and your bank. My name is Woof, and today I'm initiating the Financial War Room Protocol. 8 tactical maneuvers you must execute in the first 24 hours to ensure your life's work isn't deleted by a single line of code. The clock is ticking. When the geopolitical gears grind to a halt, your wealth becomes a ghost asset. It exists on a server you can't reach, protected by a bank that just locked its doors for your safety. Most people will spend the first 24 hours of a crisis in a state of normalcy bias, waiting for the internet to come back up so they can check their balance. But by the time the bars return to your phone, the gates to the financial system will be welded shut. The first hour is for mental mobilization. You have 60 minutes to strip away the peacetime ego and decide your binary objective. Are you a fortress or a nomad? If you stay, your capital must be converted into defensive utility. If you leave, your capital must be converted into frictionless mobility. Most people lose the first day because they try to do both. They buy a generator they can't carry, and then they try to book a flight they can't afford. In the war room, there is no maybe. You pick a lane, and you commit your entire net worth to that trajectory. If you are staying, you are buying time. If you are going, you are buying distance. Every dollar spent in the next 23 hours that doesn't serve your binary objective is a dollar wasted on a future that doesn't exist. By hour 2, the bank run is no longer a theory. It's a physical reality. You have a 3-hour window before the withdrawal caps are hard-coded into the system. This is the paper power phase. You aren't looking for savings, you're looking for fuel. Forget the big bank branches, they are heat maps for chaos. You head for the peripheral nodes, the small-town credit unions, the grocery store cashbacks, the independent ATMs in the back of pharmacies. You are extracting small-cap liquidity, 5s, 10s, and 20s. In a systemic freeze, a $100 bill is a negotiation block. A $20 bill is a survival unit. You need enough physical paper to bribe a tow truck, buy a tank of black market fuel, or pay a local guide. If it isn't in your pocket by hour 4, it's just a number on a dead screen. As the sun begins to set on day 1, the digital ghost phase intensifies. If the grid is flickering, you have 4 hours to perform an analog backup of your entire financial existence. You need to treat your digital identity like it's about to be erased. You aren't just saving files. You are creating a portable ledger. You need physical, hard copy printouts of your property titles, your insurance riders, and your most recent brokerage statements. Why? Because when the reconstruction begins, the burden of proof will be on you. If the bank's servers are glitched by a cyber attack or a force majeure clause, your analog backup is the only evidence that you ever owned anything at all. Seal them in a waterproof identity sleeve and keep it on your person. In a war room, if it isn't physical, it isn't real. By the 12th hour, the local currency is no longer a store of value. It's a hot potato. The inflationary spike is coming, and anyone holding local paper is about to be taxed into poverty by the collapse of purchasing power. This is the hard asset pivot. You use your remaining digital access to move wealth into jurisdictional neutrals. This means cold storage crypto, physical gold, or stablecoins pegged to a currency that isn't currently on fire. You are looking for permissionless wealth. Assets that don't require a SWIFT code to move across a border. If your wealth requires a middleman to authorize a transaction, you don't own it. You're just borrowing it until the middleman decides to quit. Financial survival isn't just about money, it's about access. By hour 16, the supply shock will hit the shelves. This is the panic premium. The price of a gallon of fuel or a bottle of antibiotics will move faster than the ticker on a stock exchange. Your move is strategic preemption. You convert your failing paper into tangible utility at peacetime prices. You aren't shopping. You are shorting the collapse. By locking in 6 months of medicine, fuel, and non-perishables now, you are effectively hedging against the 500% price hike that's coming tomorrow. Every essential you secure in this window is a dividend you'll be paid every single day of the crisis. In the war room, information is your most expensive asset. By hour 20, the cell towers will be congested or throttled. If your financial life is tied to cloud access, you are now financially blind. You must establish a communication fortress. This means having offline maps, written recovery seeds for your wallets, and a dead man switch for your family's financial data. If you are the only one who knows the master password and you get separated from your team, your family is wealthy but destitute. You need to distribute access keys to your inner circle now. A fortress with only one key holder is just a prison. As the first 24 hours draw to a close, you will face the psychological trap. You will look at your house, your car, and your physical office, and you will feel the urge to stay and defend. This is sunk cost bias, and it is the #1 killer of financial mobility. In a war room, you must realize that physical assets are liabilities in a conflict zone. You cannot defend a real estate title against a tank or a nationalization decree. The goal of the first day is to detach your identity from your geography. The people who survive are the ones who realize that wealth is portable. If you have your identity sleeve and your hard asset pivot is complete, you are already rich, even if your house is 1,000 miles behind you. The final 2 hours are for strategic calm. While the rest of the world is screaming at the television or fighting in line at the gas station, you are reviewing your war room protocol. You have cash, you have documents, you have hard assets, and you have a binary objective. You have moved from victim to architect. The system is a fragile hallucination that we all agree to believe in during peacetime. But in the first 24 hours of a war, that hallucination evaporates. The people who thrive in the new world are the ones who didn't waste the old world's final hours. You aren't prepping for the end of the world. You are positioning for the beginning of the next one. Most people spend their lives building for stability. They assume the bank is a permanent fixture of the universe. But history is a graveyard of permanent banks. The people who survive a financial war zone aren't the ones with the highest net worth on paper. They're the ones with the highest sovereignty in practice. The first 24 hours are your window of opportunity. Once that window closes, you're no longer an investor. You're a statistic. Don't wait for the official announcement to protect what is yours. By the time they announce the crisis has already won. Stay analytical, stay mobile, and above all, stay sovereign, and I'll see you in the reconstruction.